Picture this scenario. It's 2 a.m. on a rainy Tuesday. You're fast asleep. Miles away, at your branch office, a transformer blows. The lights flicker and die. In the server closet, the silence is heavy. Usually, this is the part where you wake up the next morning to corrupted databases, angry emails, and a frantic drive to the office. But what if the story didn't end that way? What if the infrastructure could, actually, take care of itself?
That is the dream, isn't it? The idea of the self-healing office. But for a long time, unless you were a Fortune 500 company with a massive data center budget, that's all it was, a dream.
Exactly. And that brings us to what we're tearing down today. The APC Smart UPS SMT 3000 M2UC. It's a bit of a mouthful to say, but the promise here is huge. They're claiming this is the first cloud-native UPS, designed specifically for the little guys, or at least the medium guys. Distributed IT, branch offices, small businesses.
Right. And cloud-native is a phrase that gets thrown around like confetti these days. But in this specific context, it actually solves a very painful, very real problem. We call it the gap.
The gap?
Yeah. Think about the landscape of power protection. On one end, you have those plastic strips you buy at an electronics store. They're cheap, they keep your PC on for 5 minutes, but they're dumb bricks. On the other end, you have enterprise systems. They're brilliant, but they require complex network management cards, SNMP configurations, and usually a dedicated IT person just to monitor them.
And if you're a small business with, say, 3 servers and a router, you're stuck in the middle. You need the protection of the enterprise beast, but you don't have the staff to babysit it.
Precisely. You don't have a facility manager walking the halls checking for warning lights, and that is where this APC unit lands. It's a 2U rack mount beast, 3000 VA capacity, but the brain of the operation lives in the cloud via APC SmartConnect.
So, let's dig into that cloud aspect, because I'm skeptical. Is this just a way to get us to hook a battery up to the internet, or does it change the workflow?
It fundamentally changes the workflow. Think about the old way. A UPS starts beeping because the battery is dying. Who hears it? Nobody. It's in a closet. It beeps until it dies. Then the power goes out and nothing works. With SmartConnect, the SMT 3000 M2UC talks directly to the APC cloud. You don't install software on a local server, you don't configure IP addresses, you plug it in, scan a QR code, and suddenly that UPS is texting your phone.
Your battery needs replacement.
Exactly. Or power event detected. It's proactive. It gives you lifecycle recommendations. And here is the kicker that usually surprises people. The standard plan for this monitoring is free.
Free? Usually, cloud-enabled means subscription required.
That's the industry standard trap, right? But with this SMT line, the SmartConnect standard functionality is included for the entire warranty period. That's typically 3 years. No monitoring fees. You get the dashboard, the automated firmware updates, which is huge by the way, no more manual patching, and the alerts.
That is significant. 3 years of professional-grade monitoring without a recurring cost. That changes the TCO, the total cost of ownership math, quite a bit. But let's play devil's advocate. What if I want to do more than just watch the UPS? What if I need to do something?
That's where they upsell you, but honestly, the value is there. They have an advanced plan. This allows for remote control, specifically the remote reboot.
Ah, the turn it off and on again from the comfort of your couch.
It sounds funny, but think about the cost of a truck roll. If a network switch hangs at a remote site 2 hours away, sending a technician out there just to flip a switch costs hundreds of dollars. With the advanced plan on this unit, you can toggle a specific outlet group remotely. You reset the hung device and you're back in bed in 5 minutes.
That brings up the hardware itself. We've talked about the brain. Let's talk about the brawn. This thing is putting out 2,700 watts. That's not a small battery backup.
No, it's serious iron. It's line interactive, pure sine wave output.
Stop there. Pure sine wave. We hear this term constantly. Does it actually matter, or is it audiophile level nitpicking?
It matters enormously for modern IT gear. It's the difference between feeding your equipment bottled spring water versus water from a rusty garden hose. Modern servers use active power factor correction (PFC) power supplies. They are very efficient, but they are very sensitive. If you feed them a modified sine wave, which is that blocky, jagged power you get from cheap UPS units, the server power supply has to work incredibly hard to smooth it out. It generates heat, it creates stress, and sometimes the server just shuts off to protect itself.
So you buy a cheap UPS to keep the server running, and the UPS itself causes the server to crash.
Irony at its finest. But with pure sine wave, the transition to battery is seamless. The equipment doesn't even know it happened.
And it's not just about when the power goes out, right? I was reading about the AVR automatic voltage regulation.
That is the unsung hero of this unit. AVR is like the suspension system on a car. If you live in an area with dirty power sags, brownouts, voltage spikes, a cheap UPS would switch to battery every time the voltage dips. That kills your battery life. You'd be replacing batteries every year.
Right, because batteries have a finite number of cycles.
Exactly. The AVR in this APC unit actively conditions the power. If the voltage drops, it boosts it back up. If it spikes, it trims it down. It does all this without touching the battery. So, when the actual blackout hits, your battery is fully charged and waiting, rather than being exhausted from fighting minor fluctuations all day.
That's a massive efficiency gain. Speaking of efficiency, there's a green mode mentioned. Is that just marketing greenwashing?
Not in this case. It's about heat and money. In green mode, the UPS bypasses certain electrical components when the power is clean, which reduces electrical loss. Less loss means less heat. Less heat means your air conditioning doesn't work as hard. For a unit running 24/7/365, those small savings compound. It's about operational efficiency.
Let's talk about the physical setup. Because looking at the specs, this isn't something you just toss under a desk.
Definitely not. It's 2U rack mounted, which means it takes up 2 slots in a standard server rack, and it's heavy over 60 pounds. But the detail that catches people off guard is the plug.
The plug?
You cannot plug this into a standard wall outlet. It requires a NEMA 530p input. That means you need a dedicated 30 amp circuit.
Oh, wow. So you can't just Amazon Prime this to your office and expect it to work on Tuesday.
No. If you don't have a 30 amp circuit installed by an electrician, you have a very expensive paperweight. That's a critical installation detail for SMBs who might not have a facilities team.
Good catch. Let's pivot back to the software for a second. We talked about the cloud, but what if the internet goes down? Or what if I'm paranoid and don't want my power infrastructure on the cloud?
APC covers that base too. They still offer PowerShute serial shutdown. It's the classic local software. You connect via USB or serial cable. It handles graceful shutdowns, making sure your server closes its files properly before the battery dies, and it keeps the logs local. It's great for high security environments or places with spotty internet. But honestly, the magic of this specific M2UC model is the cloud connectivity.
It seems like they've really thought about the logic of power outages too, specifically the outlet groups. Can you explain how that works?
Sure. The back of the unit has 8 outlets. 6 are standard, 2 are surge only. But they include a switchable outlet group. This allows for load shedding.
Load shedding. That sounds dramatic.
It's a survival tactic. Let's say the power goes out. You're on battery, you have 20 minutes of runtime. Do you really need the secondary backup server or the office printer running?
Probably not. You want the core switch and the domain controller to stay alive.
Exactly. You can program the UPS to cut power to the non-critical group after, say, 5 minutes. That might double the runtime for your critical gear. It buys you time. And in IT, time is the only commodity that matters during a crisis.
It's interesting how this product sits in the market. It feels like a bridge. It's for that awkward growth phase where a business is becoming real IT-wise.
That's the sweet spot. They define it as 1 to 25 racks. If you have fewer than 25 racks, this SmartConnect ecosystem is perfect. It's unified visibility without complexity.
And if you grow beyond that,
then you graduate. You move to their EcoStruxure IT platform. It's the enterprise version predictive analytics, data center management, the works. But the beauty is, you don't have to rip and replace. These SMT units can eventually be folded into that larger system. It provides a path forward.
So, wrapping this up, We're looking at a device that solves the orphan problem of SMB power. It brings enterprise-grade clean power, pure sine wave, AVR, and marries it with consumer-grade ease of use via the cloud.
And it removes the hidden labor cost. That's the real value. It's not just a battery, it's an automated sentry. It watches the voltage, the temperature, and the battery health so you don't have to.
It really frames power protection not as a hardware purchase, but as a management strategy.
Absolutely. We rely so heavily on our digital infrastructure. Our servers, our cloud connections, our routers, they are the heartbeat of modern business. Yet, we often treat the power feeding them as an afterthought. This device argues that the foundation deserves as much intelligence as the applications running on top of it.
A profound thought to end on. If your business runs on data, what is your data running on? If the answer is, I don't know, maybe it's time to look at the SMT 3000M2UC.
Or at least call an electrician to check if you have a 30 amp plug.
Laughs. Fair point. Always check the plug first. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, keep the lights on.